Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, July 2, 2024. Government has activated emergency measures under the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA, as Jamaica is placed under hurricane warning due to the approach of the now Category 5 Hurricane Beryl. The law grants additional authority to coordinate and execute a range of emergency response activities with flexibility, and the decision to invoke orders under the Act was taken in a meeting of the Cabinet yesterday.
This is very important. It's very important to, one, establish that there is a disaster and that emergency rules would kick in. Very important for accountability afterwards. It will also be important for guiding our security forces, particularly in the taking of preemptive actions to prevent looting, which we have seen instances of this in disasters past, and we will not have and countenance any such thing in this pending emergency.
As the country prepares for Beryl, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging Jamaicans who live in vulnerable areas to heed evacuation warnings and seek safe shelter at the earliest opportunity. He points out that at some point during the hurricane, the services of the Jamaica Defence Force and Fire Brigade will become inaccessible for evacuations, as they will need to secure their aircraft, boats and fire trucks, as well as ensure the safety of their personnel.
So this means that as citizens, you have to look at the threat to your immediate environment and make the right decision about evacuation. It is always a sensitive and touchy subject. I quite well understand people don't want to leave their property, they worry about security, but the most important thing is your life.
Hurricane Beryl is currently projected to pass just south of Jamaica tomorrow, bringing with it extremely dangerous winds, storm surge, widespread rainfall and thunder showers. Morning showers and isolated thunderstorms across southern and northwestern parishes are projected for Thursday. As the country braces for the hurricane, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is assuring citizens that government is making the necessary arrangements to ensure it is able to respond after the system has passed and that critical supplies are in place.
We are in touch with the commercial trade to ensure that we have sufficient stocks in place, that persons can be able to at least have access to food and water after the hurricane has passed.
He adds that Petrojam has 2 to 3 weeks supply of finished petroleum products to keep the market supplied with fuel. General Manager of Petrojam Limited, Telroy Morgan, assures that the company is also on standby to address emergency supply issues for hospitals and other critical facilities. Energy Minister Darrell Vaz also addressed the matter during Monday's press briefing at Jamaica House.
So we are in good stead and have arrangements for backup once we know what the true situation is.
Critical facilities like hospitals are being urged to ensure they have products reserved for at least 5 days in case roads become inaccessible. In support of that, Petrojam extended the opening hours of its loading racks in Kingston and Montego Bay yesterday and today to facilitate adequate access to fuel supplies. The Ministry of Health and Wellness advises that 3 days of fuel, water and food supplies are in place at all health facilities. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Besaso McKenzie says field hospitals are being evacuated and the help of the JDF is being sought to have the structures pulled down in anticipation of a direct hit from Hurricane Beryl.
We're pulling in, of course, as usual, our vaccine supplies to ensure that there is adequate cold management of all our supplies.
As government continues its hurricane preparedness response, the National Works Agency NWA says drain cleaning has intensified across the island with the allocation of $1 million to each constituency. Chief Executive Officer E.G. Hunter says special attention is being given to the Wikiwaki and Sandy Gullies in St. Andrew as the accumulation of sediments in these waterways impacts the bridges on Spanish Town Road and Washington Boulevard.
So we started cleaning the Sandy Gully in those particular areas over the weekend, and we will continue. We've also tackled the South and the North Gully in St. James, Danvers Pen in St. Thomas, low-lying areas in Kingston, Portmore, Seaview Gardens. Those areas are being given special attention.
Drain cleaning has also taken place in Ocho Rios and St. Anne's Bay. Meanwhile, motorists are being advised that due to the torrential rainfall being projected for the island, flooding is expected for Marcus Garvey Drive in Kingston.
So flooding on Marcus Garvey Drive is largely impacted by Richmond Park, Crossroads, Papine, all the way down, and it ends on Marcus Garvey Drive. So we have taken the precaution to do some cleaning in that area. But again, as I said before, we are really realistic. The intensity of the rains that are anticipated will overwhelm the existing capacity of the drains in those areas. So some flooding will be expected, and we advise the public to adhere to the warnings.
The municipal corporations have also been carrying out drain cleaning exercises. Transportation and other essential services are also being secured. The two major airports will remain open until it is no longer safe for aircrafts to fly. And the Jamaica Urban Transit Company JUTC buses will be available to transport persons to shelters. The National Water Commission has lifted all water restrictions starting today to allow people to store the commodity. The NWC says it will also fill all its water storage tanks, have adequate gasoline storage to facilitate the trucking of water, and reinstate all pumping stations that were out of service. Acting President Kevin Carr says the agency's contact list will also be updated and shared with ODPEM and the municipal corporations.
We will operate all facilities up to the point when there is no power supply. I am also sharing that there are some critical facilities that have standby capacity to serve all the areas where hospitals are located.
On the matter of security, the nation has been assured that adequate police officers are available for deployment. Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake says measures are in place to secure shelters and patrol highways and business districts.
Our mobile patrol will be concentrating primarily within the domestic spaces and the business districts. And our quick response, which may be extremely relevant given what may happen on our roadway, will be out in their full numbers to help to respond to incidents and also to protect our business communities.
Dr. Blake adds that a liaison system has been established to coordinate communication across all 19 police divisions and with disaster stakeholders. The police will be supported by the Jamaica Defence Force, JDF. All 870 emergency shelters across the island are on standby for opening. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie gave that update on Monday.
Relief supplies have been already secured. Our parish disaster coordinators are in a state of readiness. Our shelter managers are also in a state of readiness.
He says the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, will be able to maintain reliable connection with critical agencies and vulnerable communities through a major upgrade to its communication system. In addition, the head of ODPEM, Richard Thompson, says a series of meetings have been taking place since last Thursday to coordinate response at the parish level.
Looking at aspects of shelter, relief distribution, pre-positioning, evacuation of our threatened areas, looking at scenario development. We did 3 scenario development for the impending system. We will be now doing a more detailed scenario development now that we have seen that it will track to the south side of us.
Meanwhile, the local government ministry is working to secure infirmaries and the homeless population across the country.
There are 2 infirmaries that will be relocated if needs become necessary. That's in Trelawney, and the other is in St. Anne, which is next door to the ocean. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, that the infirmaries, the protocols that we are going to be putting down during this period, that the public recognize and acknowledge these protocols.
Minister Desmond McKenzie further indicates that all municipal corporations are coordinating efforts to transport homeless individuals to designated drop-in centers, infirmaries, or shelters. Additionally, arrangements are being made for persons who are physically challenged and live alone. A list with those individuals has been made available.
The municipal corporations have now issued instructions that these persons must be found, and the necessary arrangements are being made to take them to the necessary locations that are being provided in the respective parishes.
And finally, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has been collaborating with the JDF and the Coast Guard to assist in evacuating fisherfolk from the coast. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green says the ministry has activated a fully operational VHF radio system to provide updates to fisherfolk.
We're asking our officials to utilize the channels on the South Coast 24 and 25, on the North Coast 26 and 27, as we are providing updates via those channels. Again, if you're on the Keys, you should already be making your way home.
In addition, the ministry has dispatched a team of extension officers to flood-prone areas such as Clarendon, St. Elizabeth and St. Anne. Livestock farmers are also being assisted with moving their animals to high ground, and equipment has been deployed to agri-parks in Clarendon and St. Thomas to assist with drainage clearance.
What we have been doing is moving equipment to strategic location across various parishes so that they will be available to assist farmers with emergency response, especially in our coffee belt in Portland, St. Thomas, and East Rural and West Rural, St. Andrew.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.